Alright. Hey there everyone, and welcome to Corey Loses, where today we're going to be doing some community multiplayer matches in Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.2.5. So for those of you who may not have been to any of these matches before, the way this works is I basically just host the match, anyone is free to join, and then we just play the match, and I try to get through, usually we get through about 4. I try to play different matches, so if you guys want to start saying in the chat who you want me to play as first, then I'll just pick that faction. But yeah, so I'm going to put the first match up now. One thing that I do ask people to do is do make sure that your connection is alright and that you're able to get a decent frame rate, ideally above 25. Because otherwise it can make the game a lot less stable and you usually end up with a lot of desyncs and connection issues if it's below that. So I really hate having to like kick people out or whatever, but at a certain point the game just stops being functional. So do try to make sure you're at least decent there. Oh god. Okay, we have a lot of people here. That filled up really fast. I think a 4v4 might go poorly, but we'll give it a shot. This is almost certainly going to crash. What are people saying? Empire of the Hand, Meldrude, Empire of the Hand. I'll just, yeah, I guess we're getting 2 Empire of the Hand votes. We'll try a 4v4. This, just saying, this is almost certainly not going to work, but we're going to give it a shot. So the factions appear to be getting even more spread out. It looks like we've decided on EOTH versus PA. Do we have 3, 4, and 4? Yes, we do. Okay. 2.2.5 is the version on the workshop, Comrade Tyler. So if you have the workshop version, then you have 2.2.5. And as you can probably hear, I'm trying to do this with KOTOR 2 music in the background. So if you guys like that, let me know. If you think it's detracting from stuff, let me know as well. I can't use the base game Empire at War music because it's like the movie soundtracks, and that will get more copyright flag issues. If this works, I'm going to be incredibly shocked.
TIE squadron here.
We'll give it 30 seconds more. Just see if anything happens. If not, I'll have to rehost and I'm going to do 2v2. Which was my intention, but it filled up really fast. Yeah. Looks like I'm gonna have to rehost. Okay. If you can't get in the first game, don't worry. There will be other matches. We'll be going for a little while today. And since it does seem like there's a fair number of people who want to get in today, I am going to say that if you're in one match, we're going to try to get like different people in for the second one. So for anyone, like no 2 matches in a row. That way, if anyone wants to play, there will be at least a good chance that we can get everyone through. Yep, 2.2.5. Hopefully this one works.
TIEs reporting in. Ready for action.
Vehicle in production. Vehicle in production.
Hey, it's functioning so far.
Order,
Ish.
sir.
Hopefully this smooths out a little bit.
Vigilance standing by.
Alright.
Ready for
It's never a great sign when it's lagging a little bit at the start. There we go. That's oh. Its frames were up at 100 per second there. Well, as the Empire of the Hand, it's going to be hard to get a fleet of regular Star Destroyers, considering they don't have them.
Stay vigilant. Ready for battle.
Beginning construction.
Roger that.
Australian class frigate here.
Yeah, I really need to change that message. I'm thinking about doing a patch before the next set of community matches, mostly with some balance stuff, but I'm going to try to change that text so it says the lobby is full instead of you've been kicked.
Constructing.
Because that message is...
Station ready.
I don't know if a lot of people, or if most people know that that's not actually what that is.
Awaiting your orders.
So for a lot of people, they probably think they have actually been kicked.
Choose your reinforcements.
Setting course.
Back around. Attack formation.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Engaging enemy.
Construction complete.
Copy. For the Empire. I copy.
Alright.
Broadside frigate here.
Okay, can I get the upgrade? I can.
Construction complete.
And we have our heroes now.
I'm on them.
Seems like we have decent control over most of the map.
Frigate standing by.
Where is Commander stuff, though? Unless Commander was over here.
That target.
Oh, no, there's some stuff.
Behind them.
Holding fire for maximum effect.
Now. I got one.
That Corona is one more volley away from death. There we go.
Closing in on the target.
Yes, sir.
Australian class frigate here.
I'm on them.
And
Building under construction.
here we go.
Enemies
I'm gonna get a Battle Dragon. I like Battle Dragons.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Broadside frigate here.
Yes, Commander.
At your service, my lord.
Coming around.
Upgrade complete.
I won't be able to get the other mines over here for a little bit. Well, actually, we can probably get this one now if we move you up here. But that does give us most of the map.
Orbital command available. Taking fire.
We have our Quasar now.
Nebulon B frigate here.
Choose your reinforcements.
I got
Construct.
There we go. Another mine.
At your command.
And, oh, you already got the upgrade for level 2. So I'm just going to get another Naruto while we're waiting there.
Broadside frigate here.
Should probably put the merchant dock units on with some kind of tech requirement too.
Holding for maximum firepower.
So you can't just like get those at Tech 1 and then not have to rush Tech 2. They don't have great shields, but they have a good amount of firepower, which is kind of what we needed right now.
Choose your reinforcements.
Heading out.
Back around for another run. Getting a lock.
Vigilance standing by. Broadside frigate here.
Targeting at maximum firepower.
Standing by.
Holding fire for maximum effect.
Go. Target locked.
And
Constructing unit.
I can get a few things right now. Warlord. Oh, they're starting to send stuff in. Oh, I think they rushed Tech. That's why they were
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
so far behind there.
Broadside frigate here.
Our lasers are gone.
How much time this now? I can go a couple hours, I think. So I'm gonna try to get through 4 or 5 games. Ideal. Oh,
Cruiser reporting.
Frigate standing by.
Choose your reinforcements.
Navigating to coordinates.
We await your orders.
There's the battle dragon.
Decoding transmission.
I'm gonna get. Nope,
Constructing
that's not what I wanted to
unit.
click. I wanted to click you.
Constructing unit.
Reinforcement available.
Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Eliminating target. At your service.
I have Scarsis now, so you guys can hear another one down like 17,000 times. That will be fixed.
Our space station is under attack.
Hypervelocity gun available. Stay in formation.
Hypervelocity cannon firing.
Acknowledge, sir.
Launching attack.
Damn, I should have checked over here first. Then I would have seen them on Cal.
Journey.
The Asserter has always been planned for Raidu.
Unit in
Choose
production.
your reinforcements.
Building trajectory. Broadside frigate here.
Attack position. Attack formation.
So yeah, won't be Meldrude.
We stand ready. Journey class frigate here.
Choose your reinforcements.
I'll head full.
Direct all fire on the shield generator.
Okay.
At your beck and call.
So I might put another Astroni over here, so they have a bit more anti-fighter support.
Choose your reinforcements.
Station ready.
Tech upgrade in progress.
Upgrade in progress.
Pressing the attack.
Standing by.
Targeting at
Space
maximum
station under
firepower.
attack.
Falling out of
Warlord class gunship here, sir. Take
Our
out their
primary
heavy
engine
weapon
system is down. Holding fire for maximum effect.
Choose your
Alright, I'm gonna drop the chaff over here. Hey, drone.
Hypervelocity cannon firing.
Yeah, that mine needs to go. The Emperor of the Hand's anti-fighter is not fantastic, and the New Republic is
Vehicle.
a
in
lot of
production.
fighters. They're really strong in skirmish right now. That's why they're in basically every community match, every game. So that's going to be one of the focuses of if we do a patch between the next two,
Upgrade.
or between this and the next community match. Jesus Christ. We'll probably try to tone down some of that early game stuff. Okay.
At your command.
Unit in production.
Stay in formation. Taking fire. Receiving.
Yeah, so the Arado Authority, they'll, instead of being able to build generic executors, like the regular executor ships, they'll get the Asserter as their regular SSD. Oh, sync error. Yay! Yeah, so they'll get the Asserter as the regular SSD, and then they'll still be able to get, like, Nighthammer. Alright, so I'm gonna have to rehost. So they will still have an executor, it's just they won't be able to build them as a regular unit. But because we've limited SSD builds anyways, you're basically just trading what would have been like 2 executors at the same time for an executor and asserter. That is single player. I want multiplayer. Alright, sorry there, you don't know in Mudkip. I'm going to try to stick to 2v2 so the game doesn't completely crash out on us, but... No one's banned Slice and Dice, the lobby's just full. PA? I guess we can do PA. Do you ground battles after this? I'd rather wait until we're done 2.3 to start doing the ground battles, because at least then we're gonna have some more of the balance changes and other changes done. Because that'll be a lot of the skirmish relevant ones. The GC relevant ones are gonna be more 2.4.
TIE interceptor here.
But yeah, so the message says you've been kicked, but it's really just the lobby's full. So I really want to change that because it's inaccurate and misleading.
Vehicle in production.
Interceptor squad reporting. Orders, sir. Course set.
I think there's someone who actually canceled their Patreon pledge once because they got that message
IPV reporting.
and thought it meant that I had kicked them from the game.
Choose your
No,
reinforcements.
that's not what happened.
Squadron standing by.
I'll just get rid of that.
Engines activated.
IPV reporting.
Ready for battle. Location plotted.
Location confirmed.
I mean, it's easier to just change the in-game text because the actual use of kick is so much more rare than the lobby just being full, so it makes more sense if you can only have one message to go with that.
Deploying squadron.
Awaiting command.
Closing on target.
Station ready.
Form up. Right away.
Cruiser here. Bomber standing by.
Watch for
And in
enemies.
terms of like a chatbot, I can usually just explain it. Like I'm usually explaining it verbally, so
Eyes reporting in.
for anyone watching the stream or in the chat anyways, they'd already know, whereas if people have it closed for at that point or something,
Reporting in.
they wouldn't notice it anyways.
Bomber squadron reporting.
Orders, sir.
Orbital command available.
Vehicle in production.
Attack formation.
Ready for orders.
Waiting orders. Sir.
Cruiser online. Awaiting.
Okay, I'm gonna move the radar up a little bit more.
Direct fire on the engines. Go after the stragglers. Attacking. Bombers. IPV reporting.
Upgrade in progress.
Confirmed. I've got him.
Alright, seems like they've got the top. I'm just gonna work on holding the middle.
Yes, sir. Move to attack.
Space station
Move to
damaged.
attack. Losing power. Ready to receive orders.
I'm hit. Squadron.
Cannons armed.
We're being targeted. Squad, move in.
Any reason for not having the octuple turrets on the ISD2 each be hard? Well, because all the weapons are proportional. Because an ISD has like 60 regular turbo lasers, it has 8 octuples. But like you can see the octuples, but if you make them each their own hardpoint, then we have to significantly reduce the power of each one. So they'd either be like paper thin and easily destroyed, or we'd have to reduce the damage they're doing, which we don't really want to do. So because everything in the mod is proportional like that, it made more sense. Like the octuples are already overrepresented proportionally. So 8 hard points for 8 turrets versus 6 hard points for 60 turrets. It
Form up. Move
doesn't
to
really work as
attack.
well for balancing.
Draw their fire. Intercepting.
Attack. Receiving message.
I guess I'll need another acclimator. A raider?
Constructing unit.
Air HP gun.
Upgrade in progress.
Standing by. Awaiting orders. Location confirmed.
Alright, so the quasars are no longer an issue.
Sighted.
Space station damaged.
We had enough raiders to make sure of that. We're probably going to switch the raiders armament into like the actual raider wooden too. Right now, like with a lot of those corvettes, we've just put a lot of lasers on them, whereas they should have some slightly different armaments. So we're probably going to swap that around, and then if it means we have to put other stuff in for the actual anti-fighter, then we'll do that, but
IPV reporting.
Benjamin, do you have the Steam version of the game? Because if you have the Steam version of the game, you can just subscribe to stuff on the Steam Workshop, and it all installs for you. It's the easiest way to do it. And the Steam version of the game also gets still gets updates sometimes, which aren't available to the disc or the GOG version. So I do recommend anyone, even if you already have a copy of the disc or GOG version, I do recommend getting the Steam one when it's on sale. It's definitely worth it.
Reporting. Our target priority is the laser cannon.
Alright, so we seem to have that locked down pretty well.
Unit in production.
Let me grab some of those guys. Once you stop moving, so I don't overshoot that.
Cruiser here. What are your orders? Target sighted. Reporting in. I copy.
The Turbulent Class SD had official art. Would it be included in the mod? No, the Turbulent came later,
Cruiser online.
so it wasn't. It's not within the timeline of the mod. I can't remember if it was that Vong War or post Vong War.
We're on the move.
But either way, later than the mod takes place.
Reporting. Locking on.
Unit in production.
Your orders. We're on the move. Awaiting your command.
Your orders, sir. Open fire.
They could all be, if it's stuff on fire, it might just be missing
Cruiser standing by.
a hard point or something.
Attack that target.
Choose your reinforcements. Reinforcements.
I've never invaded Mandalore with the Mandalorians there, so I'm not sure.
Copy.
Jorit put those in actually relatively close to release.
Our space
So-
station is under attack.
What's your thought on the possibility to launch starfighters and ground battles when we did something like that in the 2.2? The problem with that, the reason those were removed, is because it's
Attacking target.
they're either just air speeders that are called starfighters and therefore pointless to have like that, or if they're balanced like how the starfighters actually would be, they're super OP and it makes the entire ground battle be about just getting the most super powerful air units. And we already put a lot of work into 2.2 to make air units in general not feel overbearing, and the second you put in starfighters, you kind of ruin that. So we wouldn't put them back in as regular air units. We'd only have them be an ability based kind of deal. And we have a few ideas for doing that, but they definitely won't be back as just like build a TIE fighter and set it on the ground. That is not good.
Eliminating targets.
Awaiting orders.
Online. Falling into formation. Ready for action.
Upgrade in progress.
Okay.
Unit in
We start
production.
building other stuff now.
Course set. Instructions received. Yes, Commander. Reporting. Engines activated.
I have them now.
Velocity cannon firing.
Draw their fire. I've got him. Enemies in range. Go after the stragglers.
Well, I'm pretty sure Forces of Corruption isn't even on the Mac. Like, I think you can only get Empire at War, not even FOC. So you'd have to run like a virtual machine for Windows, and then get a copy of FOC off of Steam for that.
Closing on enemy.
Choose your reinforcements.
I've got him. Awaiting command.
I don't agree that the snow speeder's bad. Like the stats for the V-wing are definitely better. So I'm not sure I agree with that premise.
Weapons ready, sir.
Standing by. Star cruiser here. Open fire.
Roger that. Direct fire at their laser cannons.
The V-wing just has heavier weapons, so it's not as good against infantry, but it does more damage to everything else.
Upgrade in progress. Upgrade.
Well, I kind of want one of the bigger ones.
Complete.
Watch for enemy ships.
Star cruiser standing by. The launch bay is gone.
Unable to shake them.
Okay, there we go.
Activated.
That's one of the things I wanted.
Go after them. Yes, Commander. Our engines are out. Roger that.
If we focus... Well, this is going to be fine, so... The Precursor is still full shield, so I'm just going to turn on power to weapons, take that down faster.
Destroyer reporting in. Nowhere to run. Orbital command available.
Okay, I'm going to get a Secutor, I'll get one of those.
Draw their fire.
Well, like I said, Slice and Dice, that was done very close to release. And I haven't invaded Mandalore, so I haven't seen it. There's a lot of shit in the mod, so sometimes stuff does fall through the cracks. Oh my god. Yay! Sync errors. Alright, attempt number 3. Well, we've been getting at least mostly far into the battles. Like, if stuff's on fire, it just means there was a missing thing to disable the emitter, the emitter particle for the hardpoint. So whether a hardpoint was just not added, whether it's an issue with the hardpoint not having the damage emitter named properly, I'm not sure because I haven't seen it. Thoughts on the Republic Star Destroyer? I've always hated the design because, like, anything from Kraken's threat dossier is really dumb. And I like the idea that they had for Essential Guide to Warfare, which unfortunately they didn't go through with, where what they had planned to do was to retcon it so the MC-80B and the Republic class Star Destroyer were just two names for the same ship. So it would have been, the Republic class Star Destroyer just wouldn't have existed. It would have just been an alternate name for the MC-80B. And that is the world I want to live in, where we never had to think about the RSD again. But other than that, it's just, it was a very limited ship, and it has a lot of redundancy next to the Nebula.
Ready for action.
Alright.
TIE Interceptor here. Course set. Interceptor squad reporting.
Station ready.
Unit in production.
Constructing unit.
I feel like I do the same thing on the start of every Frozen Waste match. I think I always go left in core world. Oh, that's, no, good, we're good. Maybe.
Lots of frigate
Order,
reporting.
sir.
Choose your reinforcements.
I always go left on the core world, and I always go middle and top on Frozen Waste.
Instructions received.
No, the Mediator's never gotten official art.
Ready for command, sir.
It's never even gotten official stats or an official size.
Standing by.
Really, it's just a name. A very popular name.
Navigating.
Copy.
Ready.
It's one of the things that always gets me about ships that, like, they don't have stats, they don't have a name,
Roger that.
and we still get people asking for them, be like, it's my favorite ship. It's like, how? How is that your favorite ship?
Constructing.
TIE squadron here. Form up. Location plotted.
Cruiser here. Navigating.
It's like saying Flamaggio is my favorite food. I've never eaten it. I don't know what it looks like, or smells like, or tastes like.
Reporting in.
It's my favorite food.
Complete.
What are your orders? Cruiser online.
Watch for.
What do you think of torpedoes on non-starfighter units? Even in the case of something like the both an assault cruiser doesn't feel the most powerful. Yeah, usually they're a bit underwhelming. We're probably going to be introducing, like, different better variants of them to deal with that.
Available.
Constructing unit.
For capital ship grade weapons. Same thing with assault concussion
Construction complete.
missiles.
Bomber standing by.
Constructing.
Frigate here.
Eyes reporting in.
Fallout.
Upgrade in progress.
At your command.
Quasar spam is real
Constructing
today.
Unit.
Bomber squadron reporting. Sir. Course set.
So I'll put that one in there, and then I'll keep some in reserve.
Receiving message.
Unit in production.
Ready for orders.
Copy.
Ready for command, sir. Instructions received.
Construction complete.
Frigate here.
No, the music's not in game. I just put on the soundtrack in the background. We still have the same Empire at War music in the game, and that's why I can't turn on the in-game volume, because it's all the copyrighted stuff that'll get flagged,
Engines primed.
Lots of frigate reporting.
and I don't want the videos to get flagged.
This way.
I need to eat.
Location confirmed. Yes, Commander. Enemies in range.
Well, it's not especially hard to counter the Quasar spam. It just seems like it's
Fallout.
disproportionately popular today.
Attack that target. Frigate here. Frequency
Upgrade complete.
Let's go. Lots of frigate reporting.
Decoding transmission.
Constructing unit.
Constructing unit.
Copy.
Yeah, I just got the KOTOR 2 soundtrack playing in the background. That's why it's not matching up with the actual gameplay. So you'll get the calm music, and then the really loud music in the lobby or something.
Frigate here.
Choose your reinforcements.
Let's go.
We might add music at some point.
Fire.
There were a few composers that have wanted to work with us to add like custom music to the mod. But that can be tricky with something like Star Wars, where all the music is so recognizable, where if you mess it up,
Fire at will.
it'll just sound wrong to everyone.
Fire.
Another attack. Ready for action. They're coming
Upgrade in progress.
So we'll probably stick with regular music. Please don't.
Constructing unit.
Frigate here.
See, I said please and it worked.
Enemies in range.
But then, like, if you start putting in movie music, then you're just illegally distributing the movie music.
Cruiser reporting.
So you get into legally bad areas.
Navigating to coordinates. Cruiser reporting.
It's not that it's difficult to put the music in game, it's that distributing it is not.
Reporting.
Choose your
It's the same as like putting the music up for download on its own. It's the same kind of legal issue.
Lots of frigate reporting. Copy.
Gunship reporting.
Intercepting.
Station ready.
Taking them out.
vehicle in production.
You know what, I'm gonna go for an IC2. Actually went to missile boats for some Imperial factions. But yeah, so we're adding as many different unique fighters as we can for the Warlords, which is why we've got stuff like the TIE Punisher and the TIE Advanced Bomber for the Arado Authority that are coming in, and we've got I don't remember what we've announced or not, but yeah, there's other fighters that we're going to be adding in, stuff like the missile boat, stuff like the XG-1, all that stuff. Or there's Alpha Class Star Wing, there's the Nova Wing. I can never remember the specific designations when I'm not looking at them, but all the random Imperial starfighters, there'll probably be room for a lot of them.
In progress.
Unable to shake them.
Lots of frigate reporting.
At your command. Initiating attack.
Alright, I'm gonna put my IST in on the other side.
Yes, Commander. Come at
Our
attack.
shields are down.
So I want those pines.
Star Destroyer
Choose your
reporting in.
reinforcements.
No! Yeah, close enough. We got some new ships like Megador for Pelion. Megador's already in the mod, but it was never Pelion's flagship. Megador and Dominion are in Air 5. Right now they're both Bellators. Their classes were never explained in Universe, so we're going to make them eventually. The plan is Bellator for one, Mandator for the other,
Star Destroyer
once we design a Mandator.
ready for battle. Our launch bay has been destroyed.
Hypervelocity gun available.
Our primary engine system is down.
Yeah, with 2.3 there's a lot of skirmish mechanics that are going to be changing as well. So
Yes, Commander.
maps will be a bit more tailored to that as well.
Vehicle in production.
I'm going to get the command bonus at least. Because we want to have different stuff to fight over instead of just being like you're either winning all the credits or getting choked out of all the credits. So like research base, have credits a bit more centralized on the base. Then you still have some mines to fight over, but instead of having like 18 mines on the map that you're fighting over, you have like the hero base, you have research star base, you have mines, you have just a variety of stuff.
Under control.
Enemy craft.
Well, again, Segachev, Megador wasn't its own ship class. It's so I'm not sure what you are asking for it to be, but it wouldn't be a new unique ship. It wasn't like a unique ship class.
My scopes are jammed.
Taking fire. Star Destroyer reporting
Alright,
in.
we'll have to defend here.
Order confirmed. Awaiting your command.
Corey, we're still going to do that. The first game of the stream would be devs only. I do plan on starting something like that when I get back in September, because I'm going to be leaving for about a week and a half, and then I'm going to try to restructure some stuff when I'm back. I didn't have time to get it sorted out this week, but basically the idea with that, for people who don't know what Kumar's talking about, or what I'm talking about right now, is because the game is so prone to like desyncs and disconnects, especially reliant on people's connections, what I want to do is for the community match days, for the first match, get some devs and testers in the games, so it's all just people that we know their connections and computers will work, and that way there's at least one game that we can get through and not have a desync or anything like that, and then we can get into the actual like community matches.
Go after the stragglers.
Cover me now. Getting a lock. The iron cannons are offline.
Receiving message.
Intercepting.
Constructing unit.
Excellent shot.
Our lasers are destroyed.
Ships.
I'm on them.
I'll take care of this.
Of course, Caesar.
Getting a lock.
Use the Discord thing. Yeah, I need to actually add some more emojis to the channel, but the thing is with those, you can only use them if you're one of the channel members / sponsors / whatever they're calling it now. So it's kind of pointless. I've never seen anyone actually use that feature for anything. So I've got an emoji that is channel specific, but I'm the only one that can use it.
Go after them.
Space station damaged.
Well, the effect in the manual should be accurate. Even if it's the same as another differently named effect, some of that is just for flavor, so...
Attack formation.
Hypervelocity gun available.
The torpedo launcher has been destroyed.
Well, I think it's partially just because it's basically the same model as Twitch, right? Where you have followers or subs. Where on YouTube you have subs, which is the unpaid version, and then members, which is the paid version. But because people are so used to the idea of not paying on YouTube, and there's always been the idea of paying on Twitch, that it's not something that gets used. And it's not something that, I guess part of it would be that it's not advertised as much, but I feel like it wouldn't be used as much regardless, just because I guess the culture of the sites, if you want to say it that way.
Reporting it. Direct fire on the engine.
Headed your direction. We're being targeted.
Yeah, I guess it does partially just depend on how much the channel in particular is willing to push it, but I'm not sure what the return is. Like, even for channels that would really push it like that, like how much it gets used compared to what the same kind of channel would be on Twitch doing that. Whereas on Twitch, it's normal to solicit subscribers as well. Whereas I'd still just feel weird saying like, join the channel or whatever.
Our target priority is the laser.
Velocity gun available. Ion cannon firing.
All right, so it looks like we might have lost this one. Yeah, honestly, of all of it, Patreon is the best, in my opinion. For if people, unless they're specifically looking for one of the features that's provided by, like, channel membership or subscribing on Twitch. If Patreon's usually the best about it. Because on Twitch, if you're subscribing, half the money goes to Twitch, half the money goes to the streamer. And I think that changes, like, if you're a partner versus an affiliate versus whatever. And I think it gets a bigger percentage goes to you the bigger your stream is. But with Patreon, it's like virtually nothing that Patreon takes the entire time.
Destroyer here.
And then there's the kind of channels where it's like, or give me money so I can bitch about EA. As if that has any impact on what EA is actually going to be doing. I've never quite understood the logic there. What are your thoughts on the original Star Wars Battlefront 2? For anyone who's around when I did my LP of that, I don't have the same opinion of the original Battlefront 2 that a lot of people do. I really like the original Battlefront 1. The original Battlefront 2 always felt to me like it was rushed too much to tie into the movies, and was a step backwards from Battlefront 1 in a lot of ways. And the campaign was just annoying to me.
Watch for enemy ships.
Go after them. Station ready.
Like, I understand that most people like it, but
Reporting.
especially as someone who never really got into mods for the game either, it doesn't have the same nostalgia factor for me, because I didn't even quite like it at the time that much. Like, I still played it and enjoyed it, but it wasn't...
Choose your reinforcement.
There's no, like, memories that stick out from that game. It was all just kind of the same thing, whereas from Battlefront 1, there's plenty of, like, interesting moments that I remember clearly from playing.
Ion cannon firing.
Copy. Our shields are now available.
it just
Cruiser reporting.
it was a disappointment to me at the time. It's still a disappointment now. See, I don't know. Space battles in the new Battlefront 2, I really like. But
Our engines are gone, sir.
space battles in the original Battlefront 2 were fun for about 15 seconds for me.
Flank.
Because the flying was never really what you were supposed to, like, you couldn't get as much done when you were trying to do the dogfighting stuff. You had to be trying to assault the capital ship. So it was always just like, fly close to the capital ship, and then turn around, and then fly out a little bit, and then try to fly close to the capital ship again for another bombing run, and then turn around. And even when you did get into the dogfighting, it was both ineffectual and not the best flight controls. So especially, like, at the time, sure, it was fine, but as something that, like, stands out today, not really. There's plenty of better flight sims, and I would put the new Battlefront 2 in that category. And I don't love the like the ground aspect of the new Battlefront 2 either, but I did enjoy what I played of the space version, and it wasn't much. Like, you guys saw everything I did in Battlefront 2 if you watched the LPs of the campaign.
The shields aren't holding. We've lost our turbo lasers. Our engines are gone, sir.
You know about the KOTOR 1 remake named Project Thrawn? They're making the crap. Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen a fair bit about it. With that one, I'm kind of worried about it getting shut down before it becomes playable. So if when/if it does come out, then I'd absolutely play it. But
Yes, sir.
Decoding transmission. Primary target acquired.
and it kind of felt to me at the time like some of the good parts of the new Battlefront 2 were just overshadowed by the outrage about the microtransactions, which was absolutely justified. But at the same time, to me, that doesn't invalidate the right choices they made with some of the gameplay. Which, again, doesn't mean that all of it was correct. There were just parts of the game that I did enjoy, and I'm not going to deny that.
Cannon systems are offline.
It's just
Ready for action.
the stupid shit they pulled with the microtransactions ruins any goodwill I had towards the game. But I did enjoy parts of it.
We're being targeted. I've been hit.
Yeah, I'll probably give it... I do want to do other games for multiplayer matches, so not just always TR. So we'll probably do some original Battlefront 2. We might do a little bit of the new Battlefront 2. And that'd probably be what it takes to get me back into it. Assuming there's even enough interest in that.
A missile launcher has been
Because if no one actually wants to play it, then I'm not going to bother.
bay is disabled. A laser bank has been lost.
Ion cannon firing.
Right. Good game, Lightning, Mudkip, and Commander 8. Type missing. I think. So who have I played so far? I played PA, Empire of the Hand, and now Empire. So I guess I'll do Aridu, because everyone else is just an Imperial faction. Do you plan to add more Force users for the Empire and Imperial type factions? Depends where they're relevant. Like, we've added most of the important ones and most of the ones that were associated with the existing factions. For anything else, they were usually part of, like, smaller warlord groups and would generally need to be, like, shoehorned in some way to a larger warlord faction. You heard of Star Wars Armada? Yep. So both of the Fantasy Flight games, Armada, X-Wing, a lot of the stuff for the mod either comes from that. Like they're good sources for some stats for some ships. There's one of the few things that still does Legends material, and they're gonna start doing Clone Wars stuff pretty soon, I think. So I'm kind of hoping for Fall of the Republic that they start doing some new ships for that as well. Because one of the things with the Clone Wars is you have a lot of ships, especially for the CIS, that are kind of in the larger range, but they don't have as many smaller ships, and that's kind of the thing that FFG makes for their games, so that could be nice.
Standing by. Plotting course. Increase to full throttle. Ready for orders.
Corona-class frigate reporting.
Building under construction.
Because when I started doing the fighter rebalancing, I actually used a lot of the FFG movement stats as a starting point for that. So for the rate of turn, for the speed, along with some other source books, of course, but they were super helpful.
Underway. Loosen up. Swinging around.
Corona-class frigate reporting.
We're drawing their fire. Attack formation. That's it.
I'm not noticing any lag.
Choose your reinforcements.
Wick as a blaster.
Formation.
Construction complete.
You calling for me, sir? I've got a pick. Should we go around for another pass? Roger that.
Thoughts on the Star Wars Resistance trailer? I actually haven't seen the new one.
Fire. Hold on.
I've seen some stills.
Their fire.
The art style does look cool, but
Yes, sir.
I haven't seen it moving yet, so I'm not sure.
Should we go around for another pass? Rendezvous at Mark 6.1. I'm in range.
Or do you think it's possible to have more than 2 players on an online Galactic Conquest for EAW? And what cool features would you add to make it more fun? No, it's not possible, unfortunately.
Choose your reinforcements.
If we could do the same stuff in single player, or same stuff in multiplayer that we can do in single player, modding wise, then that would be nice. So we could actually support all the mod features. But most of the work that the mod has to put into single player, into multiplayer, is removing the features we added for single player, which is fucking annoying.
Reinforcements.
Putting in all the work on making those features in the first place, and then just having to remove it because, and put in that much effort to remove it because the game just simply can't support the story scripting. It's discouraging.
Decoding transmission.
Reporting for duty, sir.
Vehicle in production.
Roger, setting course, sir.
I copy. Reporting. Going for the laser.
Choose
I mean, it's not rare for the worst thing in Star Wars to be whatever came out last, and then whatever used to be the worst thing in Star Wars is now super popular. When the Yuzon Vong War came out, everyone hated the Yuzon Vong until like 10 years ago when people started really liking it. Prequels came out, prequels were the worst thing ever until the sequels came out. It's just,
Picking up signal.
choose your
if there's one thing that's always been true about Star Wars, it's that people really enjoy complaining about whatever is the newest thing about Star Wars.
I'll try and draw their fire. Hold on. That's got him.
And the faster stuff comes out, and it's actually been coming out fairly quickly recently, the faster that changes. Well, I disagree that it's been objectively worse every time. It's just people like to complain about it, and then later go back and say, actually, no, it was good.
Sir, our air base destroyed.
Yes, Commander.
Yes, sir. Awaiting your orders. Sir, we've lost our shields.
Because people were super fucking upset about Chewie dying, and now no one cares that Chewie died. Some people still don't like the Vong, but it was also the first time that Star Wars did something different and killed off a main character or had any kind of story actually change. Because before that it was just Warlord of the Week.
Corona-class frigate reporting.
Which was of varying quality.
Ready for action.
Enemy unit disabled.
vehicle in production.
I've got one on me. Need help? Squadron reporting. Loosen up. I've been hit. No good. I can't maneuver.
I think we finished the soundtrack. Hold on, I'm gonna alt tab and hope nothing goes wrong here. I'm gonna switch to the other one. There we go. What's more controversial, Dark Empire, Yuuzhan Vong Invasion? I feel like opinion has shifted most on the Yuuzhan Vong Invasion, where it was originally everyone hated it, and then it's gotten more popularly received, at least within like people who would call themselves Star Wars fans over time. Whereas Dark Empire, I feel like, has stayed about as popular as it's ever been, or gotten like slightly less. The more people got annoyed by like cloning and that.
Orbital command available. Standing by. At your command.
Unit in production.
On my tail. Target's coming in fast. Encountering resistance.
Upgrade in progress.
Got one.
Alright, so we'll need to deal with Thrawn.
3-2, full throttle. Target's coming in fast.
And it also depends on how willing you are to judge the popularity of stuff based on how many people ask you to make a mod out of it, which has always been part of my barometer for it, and a barometer that is unique to Empire War modders because no one else asks other people to make Empire War mods. But yeah, you finished the Clone Wars yet? No, I have not. I will be. It just hasn't happened yet. I might not actually need the ion cannon for Thrawn.
Receiving message.
How powerful is Thrawn compared to cannon? Well, I mean, that's hard to really judge. I guess you could say that Thrawn got nerfed over the last few decades as Timothy Zahn became a better writer.
Upgrade complete.
Because in the Thrawn, as much as I like the Thrawn trilogy, most of what Thrawn does in that trilogy is bullshit. Just straight up.
Weapons armed. Open fire.
I'm losing power.
Decoding transmission.
Upgrade in progress. Vehicle in production.
Watch your six.
And like the more different books about him came out, the more he got turned into like a reasonable character where what he was doing was no longer basically magic, and instead he became like more of a logical character that was just really good at it, really smart, and wasn't just pulling stuff out of his ass that made no sense.
Watch your six. I'll try and draw their fire.
Yes, command.
I'm just so if I start watching a show, I usually binge it entirely, or if I sort of fall off it, I have a large list of shows that I need to finish. I still need to go through the last 2 seasons of Supernatural, actually, but it will happen.
Complete. Ion cannon firing.
Awaiting orders.
I'm in range.
Ready for action.
Constructing unit.
I can get one of you.
In production.
There we go.
Shield generator is lost. Assault frigate here.
So what have I got to watch?
Roger that.
Got to finish Disenchanted.
Swinging around.
Calamari cruiser ready.
Targeting at maximum.
Got some Let's Play series I need to finish watching. Westworld's on the list, but the thing is, it's most of what I end up actually watching is stuff that I can have on the background while I work, whereas stuff like Westworld, it's more I have to actively pay attention to it while it's on, and that always kind of puts me off, and
Upgrade.
not puts me off of wanting to watch it, but just it's harder for me to find a time to watch it.
Choose
You know what I mean?
reinforcements.
Did you finish Stargate or is that on the list? I finished 90% of SG1. I haven't watched most. I've watched a little bit of Atlantis as well, but not much of Atlantis.
Destroy the shield generator.
After the ground overhaul for Thrawn's Revenge will be next, and do you think your model will ever be truly finished? Well, we're working on a lot of stuff simultaneously. So with some stuff like factions, we can say we're working on A, then B, then C. But with the ground overhaul, it's not really taking the slot of anything. So it's being done alongside the other stuff we want to do, and it's not really.
Waiting order.
It's hard to say what would be
We have them in
after that.
Copy.
But
I copy.
I mean, we're simultaneously working on like doing all the space map changes we want to do. So like environmental art, we want to get some other props done for ground as well. But all that stuff.
Choose your
Oh, they have a
reinforcements.
phalanx.
Orbital command available.
Upgrade in progress.
Waiting orders.
I've talked about it
Moving into position.
a lot before, but like
Enemy fighters. Bring it
a lot of what I watch, especially on YouTube, is like Pokemon Let's Plays, so Nuzlocke, that kind of thing. Because it's really I enjoy watching it. It's good to have on in the background. It's a lot of stuff,
Weapons armed.
and yeah, that ends up being a lot of what I watch. Which devs will play the first game of streams with me? Basically, whoever's available. It'll be up to them if they want to join or not. If Pox plays, he probably won't want to be on my team.
Yes, Commander.
Enemy fighters on me.
I'm not ignoring Deck. I'm killing his stuff.
Waiting orders.
He's saying hi with his units, so I'm saying bye with my units.
Receiving message.
Upgrade in progress.
Assault frigate here.
Ion cannon available.
But yeah, what was I talking? So yeah, we're redoing a lot of the planet models, a lot of the space maps.
Standing by. Lasers are our target.
All the ground overhaul stuff is happening. 'Cause, like, basically we're always working on all the stuff all the time, so it's really basically nothing is ever done with modding. It's just how far you want to take whatever aspect of it is.
Target in sight.
Which is why when people say like, "Oh, why don't you finish your other mod before you start Fall of the Republic?" Like, well, when Ascendancy started, people complain about that because it's like, "Oh, well, ICW is not finished. Why are you starting Ascendancy?" But realistically, if we hadn't started Ascendancy, we never would have finished, or we wouldn't still be doing ICW, I don't think.
Starting my run.
Because we would... Your interest level isn't always the same. And... So we were all starting to move over to Sins more, and we're kind of falling off of ICW, or off of EAW. And then... Because like your interest goes up and down, and then you can like jump back and forth between projects, and then stuff that's done for one benefits the other, like all the updated models we did for Sins that started making their way back to EAW and vice versa. So, and then there are people who were on the team that we would never have had on the team if not for starting the Ascendancy. So like Robin would never have joined, we wouldn't have Bane on the team, and a lot of the cross-pollination of ideas can help both. And the same thing happened with Fall of the Republic, where if you go on the Fall of the Republic mod database page, a lot of the questions people are posing like, well, why didn't you just join Republic at War? Or why didn't you just join the Clone Wars mod? Or why didn't you just join Battlefront Commander? Which is really weird because that's not a Clone Wars mod. But it's basically just like, well, we work well together. We know what our goals are, and part of the reason that we're making that mod is because what's currently out there doesn't match what we want. which isn't like those mods are bad. It's just it's not the same style that we worked for, that we try to accomplish. And we're a rather large team, just considering how many projects we have. So if we were to like join another team, then it would be more like we're just taking over their project, because either we give up what we want to do, or we still work on what we want to do, and we outnumber the other people, so it wouldn't go well. Why wouldn't Pox want to be on my team? Because I'm bad at this. And when we were doing the anniversary stream, he seemed to be getting annoyed.
Calling for me, sir?
Have you played with Shaq before? Yeah, so unfortunately that is the Shaq and I played last summer. It was about this time last year, the first time we did a video together where we were playing Ascendancy. And so the videos are on his channel, but my side of the recordings,
Upgrade in progress.
OBS messed up on me. And that's the only time I've ever had OBS fail to record properly for that video with Shaq, which was really annoying to me at the time.
Awaiting orders.
I've lost engine 2.
Target those lasers.
I've been hit.
Constructed.
Resistance.
Well, Pox is like a super try-hard StarCraft 2 player.
Ready for action.
Copy. Remove the shield generator.
Try not to let one on your tail. Help.
Are you going to make after this mod a First Order versus Future? We don't currently have any plans to do
Copy.
a new cannon mod.
Initiating attack.
I've got one on me.
The lasers are our target.
Enemy sighted.
Reporting. Awaiting orders. Target
We'd
those
rather just like we currently don't have any plans to do any other mods, but right now we just want to focus on like ICW, Fall of the Republic, and Ascendancy, and we'll just keep doing that. And then if we do finish those at some point, or get to a point where we basically consider them finished, or just can't add other stuff, whether we do anything else, I don't know. Whether we've announced anything else, I don't know.
Upgrade complete.
Commencing attack. Open fire. Beginning our engagement.
Construction.
Yeah, but I think being the mod of the, or being the dev of the mod is
Open fire.
at least offset by the fact that people who are playing against me can hear what I'm doing most of the time, or just watch it. I'm not sure how many people are watching while playing,
attack.
but I assume it's greater than 0.
Cannons armed. Those torpedo launchers must be destroyed.
Targets incoming.
Weapons armed.
And the fact that the New Republic is OP in skirmish right now, especially.
Nebula class.
That helps.
Countering resistance. We're drawing their fire. Encountering resistance. They're coming around.
Yes, sir.
No good.
Beginning our engagement.
Choose your reinforcements.
We're inbound.
No good. I can't maneuver. Let's do some damage.
Orders.
The Empire of the Hand, because their units are so specialized, compared to the other factions at least,
Bombers at the
they
ready.
tend to do worse in general,
Bombers
because you really need the right unit combinations.
on missile base.
Whereas the New Republic and the Empire, everything's good at everything, so it doesn't matter.
Ion cannon available.
Scratch one. That's got
At your command.
Vehicle in production. Star Destroyer here.
got one.
Commencing attack.
Ion cannon available.
Open fire.
Space station
Receiving
damaged.
message.
Scanner contact behind me. There's one on me. Ah! Loosen
I
up.
feel like the Empress can handle that.
On my tail.
Assault frigate here.
Loosen up. We're too close.
The lasers are our target.
Encountering resistance. No good. I've lost engine
Nebula class on standby.
Swinging around.
Decoding transmission.
I've said that before and regretted it though, so I'm just gonna
One.
Ion cannon.
give it some help.
Standing by.
3, 2, 1.
Attack that target.
Enemy unit disabled.
Ready for action.
There's one on me. Ah!
Yes, Admiral.
There's one on
Nebula
me.
class reporting in.
I've got my approach vector.
Oh no.
Station ready. Locked on.
This is probably gonna get recognized by YouTube.
Open fire.
Oh well.
Ready. Right away. Attacking target.
Attack formation. I've got my approach vector.
To make command tier 5 less garbage, we better change the 5 shields to fight to that.
No good. I can't maneuver. Loosen up. I've got my approach
I mean, it's still
Star Destroyer here. Attack the
part of the idea of tier 5 is that it isn't good. Like, it's still okay, it's better than nothing, but it's
fire on the launch pad. Nebula class on standby. Open fire.
basically like the well, you're just lucky to be here of
Yes, Admiral.
commanders.
Orbital command available.
Vehicle in production.
Loosen up.
Nebula class reporting in.
Roger that.
Crossfire.
Nebula class
Manual
on
command.
standby.
Keep your eyes open. Got one on
We're
me.
drawing their
Unit
fire.
in production.
I can't see him. Ah! I've lost engine 2. I've got it lined up.
Space station
Receiving
damaged.
message. The missile launchers are the
Choose
primary
your
target.
reinforcements.
See him.
Telemetry received.
I can't see him. Ah!
That's it.
Scratch one. I'm in bad shape.
Ah,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're on approach.
Roger that. Fire
there's
at
still a
will.
lot of fighters here. So we'll have to do those, deal with those.
Star Destroyer here. We're on our way.
And
Decoding transmission.
open fire.
Nebula class on standby. We're inbound.
It's always weird to me hearing the VOs that were done by
Beginning our engagement.
the devs, which is part of why I don't voice anything. So it'd be super weird to me hearing my own voice, even though I record it for like 36 hours a day.
Ion cannon available.
Beginning our engagement.
Form up.
Choose your reinforcements.
Yes, Admiral. Yes, sir. We're on approach. Nebula class reporting in.
I've got a fix.
Awaiting orders.
Enemy unit disabled.
Moving out.
Alright, we should be able to take out their base first. Yeah, Eric. So basically, I just host a new lobby after
Ready for
the game, and then people are free to join.
Form up. Awaiting orders.
It's that
Choose your
simple.
reinforcements.
Moving into position.
Space station damaged.
Swinging around.
At your command.
And also, Dutchman, I haven't forgotten about the thing yesterday, but Sleverd was supposed to show up, and he hasn't. I'm actually going to text him now.
I've been hit.
Quarry class Star Dreadnought with your voice. No. I still need to do that Kermit the Zan mini mod though. That will happen.
Commencing attack.
Watch your 6.
Copy. I copy. Order confirmed.
Well, the reason it's the best is because you can never forget what mod you're playing. Just plasters it on the fucking menu or on the build bar.
Nebula class on standby. Our hangar is taking severe damage.
station ready.
Vehicle in
Upgrade
production.
in progress.
People have kept asking me, and I think I might do a Yoden stream at some point. Like, what the fuck's the point of it? I don't get it. Not Yoden, the build bar mod name graphic. Like I don't know. Was it easy to convert your mod from ModDB to Steam on EW? Yeah, it's just like nothing had to change with the mod. Steam works with everything that the disk version does and then some. You just had to put it in the folder and upload it. There was a lot of confusion with mods at first about how to structure the folders, but I think TR was the second mod on the workshop. I figured it out pretty quickly and didn't really have an issue, so.
Nebula class reporting in. Yes, sir. We're on our way.
Ion cannon available. Ion cannon firing.
I'm not sure who did which VOs other than the ones where I recognize the voice. So, like, I know Dr. Knickers did
Star Destroyer here.
the Nebula class. I know Bob did the Lancer. Because I left all that up to Waylawful. I've done my best to not interfere in that, and in like I try to let people on the team do whatever their thing is and not interfere unless specifically asked or unless there's something specific I want done. And for most of them, it's like they know their field better than I do, so why would I waste my time and their time telling them what to do? Waylawful knows what sounds good.
On standby.
Rogue knows how to map.
I've lost engine 2. Enemy fighters on me.
Yes, Admiral.
WHEYLOFFLE.
Commencing attack. Open fire.
To me, that I think Waylawful is how you say it.
Enemy fighters incoming. My sensors are malfunctioning. I'm under attack. I can't stay out here.
Well, there's like Curds and Way, and then Lawful, which is, I don't know,
Can't see him.
Nebula class reporting in.
Waylawful maybe? Wallafall?
Need help.
Ray Liotta?
Need help.
Executive lines for the Asserter or new? Well, we'd be trying to get unique lines for everything. It'd just be whether or not it ends up being done at the correct time.
Take out their weapon batteries.
So it would probably be, unless we can get the lines done for the Asserter at the same time the Asserter's first release is, it might end up using the Executor lines for a release and then getting new ones, but
Ruptured our engines.
ultimately it would be unique lines.
Orbital command available.
Unit in production.
Reporting. I've been hit. Attacking.
Alright. So this looks ours. looks about to be over. So thanks for playing Bad to the Brad, Dak Rex, and JR Beaupre. Yeah. Yes, I did just Control A. Well, Dick, I do the community matches pretty regularly, but because especially today we have so many people who seem to want to get into them, I'm trying to get as many people in as we can.
I'm running out of maneuvers. I'm losing my engine. I can't see him.
At least it's only started to get laggy towards the end here. Here we got people co-casting these. Well, if I do the matches with the other devs, then I'll get them in voice. But I learned pretty early on with the Sins matches we used to do. So me, Gull, and Bane used to do like STA3 or Ascendancy or other Sins mod community matches. That when we just open up the voice room to everyone, it would get very messy, and we had some issues a few times. So we started just limiting it to ourselves being in the voice room or other people who we already knew. Sometimes it was just like simple stuff like people always on voice activity instead of push to talk with no headset, so you'd just hear everything with massive reverb 17 times, and that wasn't helpful. But other times there were people saying things that really doesn't fit well with YouTube. And then we're ultimately responsible for the content on our channel, so it's... Alright. So I think we've got probably one more in us. I'm going to try to do a 3v3. Let's just go to Frozen Waste and do 3v3. Actually, Solar Flare. We haven't done the other maps in a while. I'm going to go to... No? This is kind of bad. Go to Greater Maldrude. We wouldn't be able to do GM versus PA. It probably wouldn't let us ready up. European SSDs and EAW. I've played enough mods to know the ones that are unstoppable and the ones that are too underpowered. Have you guys been going about it? We try to shift a lot of their defenses into their hull rather than their shield so that you can chip away at their damage quicker. And we also try to make them more vulnerable to fighters so that they still maintain the same amount of power against larger ships, but they are vulnerable to large groups of fighters. So try to make them really good at what they're supposed to be really good at, but still give them pretty obvious points of vulnerability.
At your command. Yes, Commander.
Yeah, this is one of the problems with this map, just the group of mines there. But oh well.
Squadron. Right away.
Receiving message.
TIE interceptor here. Moving out.
Decoding transmission.
Vehicle in production.
Vehicle in production. Unit in production.
Interceptor squad reporting.
Beginning construction.
IPV reporting.
Construction.
Yeah, so ground battles will be
Orders,
done
sir.
more after we start
Heading out.
overhauling.
IPV reporting.
Ready for command, sir. Location set.
Interceptor 4
Squadron
reporting.
standing by.
Choose your
Interceptor 4
reinforcements.
reporting.
Construction.
I like never play Meldrud in skirmish, so
Head to that area.
what units did I give them?
Ready for action.
Constructing.
I just remember the interceptors being obnoxious.
Location confirmed.
Coordinates received. We're moving out. Interceptor 4 reporting. We're en route to new coordinates.
Advancing.
Asteroids ahead. Evasive maneuvers.
Interceptor 4 reporting.
Where are the others? You know where to go.
IPV reporting.
Honestly, I don't like that they have the Providence at all.
It's gone.
Moving towards that sector now.
Losing power. Returning to your
Weapon
position.
systems fully activated.
Ships. Losing control. Go after them. I can't switch position.
Station ready.
Gun them down.
Why do I never play ground battles multiplayer? Because it's not as well balanced. We basically just
Available.
have base game mechanics with some extra units,
Combat system
For ground.
activated and
At your
targeting.
command.
so I don't enjoy it much.
Vehicle in
And
production.
we're planning to overhaul most of it, so I want to wait until that's done.
Sensors activated. Frigate responding on station.
Receiving message.
Constructing unit.
Ready for action, Commander. Moving to attack position. Our lasers are gone.
Alright, so we'll try to take the middle.
Cruiser reporting.
Choose your reinforcements.
Oh, I forgot, this map has the weird angles on
Standing
the
by for orders.
on our base, so we'll have to fix that. Still.
IPV reporting.
Choose your
I don't know if it's been fixed in 2.2, it might have been. No, supers wouldn't
Transmission.
be in skirmish.
Ready for duty. Navigating to coordinates.
Ready for action.
vehicle in production.
Orders copied and understood.
Tightening up.
Enemy target sighted.
Well, we're doing no damage to that.
Attacking.
Let's finish him.
Roger that.
Station ready.
Unable to shake them.
Form up. We're in attack position.
Choose your reinforcements.
I really don't like how that's angled on this map.
I'm hit.
Orbital command available.
Targeted.
Upgrade in progress.
Squad, move in.
Oh well.
At your command.
My scopes are jammed.
Our primary engine system is down. Awaiting orders.
Okay, we'll definitely kill Garm.
Fire for maximum effect.
Watch your back. I'll take care of this.
Receiving message.
We've lost our
Uh,
laser systems.
should I get an interdictor? To the missile shield? I probably need more firepower first.
Our launch bay has been destroyed. IPV reporting. Turbo laser batteries have been disabled. Our shields are down.
Hypervelocity gun available. Hypervelocity cannon
We're receiving you. Guns at full power. Targeting.
We have done no damage to any of this. Probably because all the missiles don't actually hit
Fire
the...
on the enemy.
Decoding transmission.
Shields almost gone.
Ready for action.
Yeah, for an SSD in skirmish, it'd have to be some sort of like game mode oriented thing where it's on the map and you're doing something with it, or like a historical battle kind of deal. When you're starting with all the forces on each side, that'd be more of a modified GC kind of like survival mode.
Cover me
Upgrade in progress.
Watch for enemy ships.
It's taken a while, but new factions have been added into survival. No, so survival mode is just Empire and New Republic right now. We actually removed the PA and Empire of the Hand one because we want to rework a lot of the mechanics for that. And there's a lot of the newer stuff that doesn't work with it, so it's basically just there as is right now. So with 2.3, we'll be able to hopefully finish that stuff back off.
I'm hit.
Engage thrusters.
We're being
Orbital
targeted.
command
Alright,
available.
rather than do stuff with that,
I got him.
I think fighter spawns and some other stuff are currently messed up in survival. We were going to have different maps, like Rogue made a different map, unique map for each faction during development, so for PA, NR, IR, and Empire of the Hand. But
My scopes are jammed.
some of them just had some issues. Oh, that sucks. Some of them had some issues working with the what's it called? The mechanics of the mode. So the New Republic in particular, they ended up with a lot of defense platforms that could kill every wave. So that wasn't great. Okay. Yeah, so stuff like historical battles is something we want to do. We've talked a bit about how we wanted to do them. And so we want to add some extra story stuff to GC, but we also want to do some stuff where it's like instant action, historical battle like in Total War. But I think we will leave that stream here for today. We got through a few of the games, but some of them, we had a fair number of desyncs in the middle of it. Usually pretty far in. But anyways, hopefully that'll be different next time. I think next week, I'm not sure if we're going to do ICW or Ascendancy community match, because we haven't done Ascendancy in a while. I was hoping to wait until after the next release of Ascendancy, but that could still be a little while out because I am going to be gone for that time. So hopefully sometime in the next 2 weeks, we'll get another ICW multiplayer match in. It likely won't be on the Saturday though. So yeah, I'll have the stream scheduled up for this coming week on Monday, so we'll know by then. But anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed the stream. Hope those of you who participated in the games enjoyed yourselves, and thanks for joining as well. But goodbye.